Now, I don't know if every single Predacon is going to show up, but I have a strong feeling that we're going to see Predaking. What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching The Road to TF5. This is just a web series we're talking about Transformers last night. This is episode number 61, and in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about Dinobots, and a whole lot about the possibility of Predacons, specifically Predaking. Now, before we talk about that, we gotta do birthday shoutouts and belated birthday shoutouts. They're all gonna be mixed in together, and they go out to Galvatron 1998, Eshbon 505, Justin Antipuesto, iGuy Boss, and Jennifer Naus. Happy birthday to all y'all. Hope you had a good one, and thank you for your support at the Ragin Nation. So let's talk about Dinobots. And what do we know about Dinobots? The only thing we know about Dinobots so far is what was mentioned in the plot leak from JoBlo.com. Now, I'm just going to read you what it says here. In terms of new and returning Transformers, we can confirm that Bumblebee will return this time in a leadership role while Optimus is off on his own mission, also returning our Hound, Crosshairs, and Drift. The Autobots now settled on Earth are making their home in the Badlands of South Dakota, which will serve as their base of operations. Also returning are the Dinobots, with the added addition of mini Dinobots. What those are or how they play out is unclear, but there you go. Now, of course, this is a plot leak. We don't know how much of this is true, but if you look at the rest of the plot leak, a lot of it is starting to become more and more and more true. For example, the idea of knights, okay, like the Knights of the Round Table, Excalibur, that's starting to become more true. After all, we're seeing like things like Stonehenge, and we're seeing the sword that's on the Last Knight logo, amongst other things. Also, they mentioned Squeaks, all right, and this is obviously a character that actually exists. Another thing that they mentioned is the creators. And of course, Optimus Prime went to look out for, search for the creators because he wants answers. At the end of Age of Extinction, he is coming for them. All right, and yeah, just a lot of elements that make this plot leak more and more true. Now, like I said before, there's no confirmation whether or not Dinobots are going to be in it, but I'd like to point out that there is this photo, which is a photo of a set piece that is that was put together at Michigan Motion Picture Studio. Now, what is this? This is something that I actually talked about before. These are these water silos in Hong Kong because they have these Chinese lettering on it. And in a previous episode, I mentioned that these are the same water silos that are located at the refinery where the battle between Optimus Prime and Lockdown took place. It actually isn't. I was wrong about that. These water silos are actually located, or rather seen, in Transformers Age of Extinction during the scene where Lockdown's Night ship actually was using its gravity weapon and bringing things up and dropping them back down. And in this case, it was the scene where it was lifting up like boats and all this other stuff and dropping it down, and then huge amounts of water came crashing down on the pier in Hong Kong. All right, and Tyler pointed this out, and Tyler, aka at BA Raven 52, pointed this out on Twitter, and he tweeted this photo to me. Your Dinobot theory is proven. Same silos from your Age of Extinction video. It's not the same silo that I mentioned in the refinery. It's more like the silos that came crashing down after Lockdown dropped all those things down onto the surface, which included like these giant metal containers that you would put on ships and also trailers. And so that is it right there. If you can picture the scene where Optimus and Bumblebee are driving away, that's that exact scene. Now, what does this have to do with Dinobots? Well, Dinobots, their last known location in Transformers Age of Extinction was, of course, in Hong Kong, but also in the I guess the pier or harbor area of Hong Kong. And I don't know how this is connected to there, but this is a very kind of like foresty area, an area with a lot of trees. The last time we saw Dinobots, they were going somewhere with a lot of trees, and that's my only explanation as to the possibility of Dinobots coming back. This is all I have so far, and it's all connected with these photos right here. So that's the same location. All right. So thank you, Tyler, for pointing that out. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the possibility and of a potential appearance from Predacons. Now, I don't know if every single Predacon is going to show up, but I have a strong feeling that we're going to see Predaking, and it might not even be Predaking, but we're at least going to see a dragon. And not only any dragon, a dragon with multiple heads, and that is because of this photo right here. Check this out. At New York, they already have a banner for advertising Transformers last night. This was posted over at Ben's World of Transformers, and this was seen in New York. Now, the Transformers Last Night production has been very, very strong in their social media marketing game. Now, during production, they've already put out a piece of physical marketing, and that is in the form of this banner. And what do we see here? Optimus Prime as a knight, because he's holding a sword, okay? And to the right side, we see this dragon, okay? It's like a beast. It's got 3 heads. And not only that, in between Optimus Prime and this 3-headed dragon, there is like a flag with a very odd looking, or rather a different style of a Decepticon symbol. Things are getting stranger, but things are getting more clear. Now, okay, so the whole knight thing, okay, all right, Optimus Prime here with the sword, he's a knight. He's most potentially the last knight. Now, as for all this we see right here to the right side, this is, I guess, a Decepticon or a Predacon. You know, like the Predacons were versions of the Decepticons which turned into beasts, all right? And this is the possibility that Predaking could be this thing right here, this 3-headed dragon, because in Transformers Prime, Predaking was a dragon, okay? And or, now here's another thing it could be. It could be Bruticus. Now, why would I say it's Bruticus? Now, this is the one, this is the thing that is most likely it's not, but I'm just going to throw this out here. It could be Bruticus, because Bruticus, as a toy in the Transformers 2001 Robots in Disguise series, there was a toy of Bruticus, but Bruticus was not a like a military vehicle. He was this 3-headed hellhound. Okay, I'm just gonna say hellhound because it's like a 3-headed dog, like a demonic dog, okay? And, well, this thing has 3 heads, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. It could be Bruticus. Most likely it's not, just because it doesn't fall anywhere in the story of Transformers Robots in Disguise, but it at least made it into toy form, okay? The next thing it could be is just a Predacon. A Predacon, as in the maybe it's called Predacon, okay? Maybe they decided not to give it a name, and this is just called a Predacon. Maybe it's a combined version of the Predacons. Once they come together, they form this thing, all right? So I'm just throwing that out there. Heck, it could even be Megatron. Megatron has taken the form of a dragon twice, as far as I know. One of those times is Transmetal Beast Wars, and also Robots in Disguise, where he's a 2-headed dragon. And not only was Megatron a 2-headed dragon, but also Galvatron was a 2-headed dragon in the white version, like the white repainted version of that version of Megatron from Robots in Disguise. So this could be something that is this could be the explanation of what that thing is. Either that could be Predaking, it could be Bruticus, it could be a Predacon, or it could be Megatron. And what I see right here, okay, is the introduction of beasts. Now, we've seen beasts before in the form of Laserbeak and Ravage, but they're really making main big characters into, like, beasts. And you all know that, aside from Transformers G1, there are a lot of great stories that came out of the other iterations of Transformers. For example, in Transformers Prime, that was a really great show. And they introduced Predaking as a dragon. Okay? And of course, Beast Wars, which is a very, very beloved show. A lot of people really love Beast Wars. It has a great story. And of course, the writers are going to take the elements that made the stories great and take them out of that and put them into live action. I can't confirm if they took that exact story element, but they at least took inspiration of that, and that is the only reason that is the only reason why that this is being introduced, is because they got inspired by Beast Wars and the fact that they had characters that are like dragons. So this could be Megatron, Predaking, a Predacon, or Bruticus. Most likely not Bruticus, but the possibility of it being Predaking and Megatron is very, very high. After all, Megatron, in his first official photo released by Michael Bay, is in the form of a beast. So it doesn't look anything like his humanoid, robotic, Cybertronian face that we've seen before. It looks nothing like that. It looks like a beast. And I've been saying before in my episodes that this is potentially where they introduced beasts, Beast Wars, Beast Machines, all that beast type element from Transformers. So this is really, really crazy. Now let's take a look in the background. What you see here is this floating thing and this flag with the Decepticon symbol. Now this Decepticon symbol, as I mentioned before, is really, really strange. And this is where I'm going to start talking a little bit about the story. I think that there are two potential versions of Megatron. And one of those versions of Megatron actually existed during medieval times. And, or this is a Predacon that existed during medieval times, and this is something that existed during medieval times that came back to life in this present time, and that being this three-headed dragon. Now, Decepticons, or rather Predacons, I'm going to call them Predacons, I'm thinking they existed during medieval times, and they were very, very dominant. And in fact, they were so dominant that a lot of the humans, the Knights of the Round Table, Merlin, King Arthur, they've seen these guys before, and they saw them as either gods or beasts or dragons. Okay, and that's where this flag comes in. This flag represents that faction of these beasts, and it existed during those medieval times. This isn't a flag that is put up during present time. This is a flag that is put up during medieval times, and that's why I'm going to go out there and say that the Predacons, or rather a version of Megatron where he's a three-headed beast, existed during medieval times, and that's what I believe is going on here. Okay, so that's really all I have to say in this video. But Predacons, Predaking, the possibility that Megatron is going to be a three-headed dragon, that is coming together. That is a high possibility that can happen. We just can't confirm which one of these which one of those characters is actually that dragon. But make no mistake about it, they are going to be one of the main foes of the Autobots, and Optimus Prime could possibly be the only one who could defeat them. So it's going to be one hell of a battle. And there you have it. That's all I have to say in this episode. We're going to end this episode with questions. All right. So, Esteban Benucci asked, "Hey Alex, do you think KSI will have another major role in the movie?" I don't think they're going to have any role in the movie at all, except for they're going to talk about it in the beginning to just kind of address what happened to them. And that's it. Other than that, there are a lot more interesting things to talk about in Transformers Last Night, and KSI is not something that I think is an element they should bring back. Okay, so I don't think that KSI will play any factor into Transformers last night. Gabriel Knievi asks, once filming wraps, when do you personally reckon we'll have the first teaser and poster? If they don't have the teaser and poster by December, then we'll most likely see it during Super Bowl or at Super Bowl. That's when they're going to put out the first teaser, just like they did in Transformers Age of Extinction, and also the first poster will be out there. Okay? That's the way they've been doing it for a while. Thomas Lamoda asks, since Megatron is announced for TF5, do you think Galvatron and Megatron will be two separate characters? That's a very good question, and that's pretty much I've answered that in what I've said about this beast. I think they're actually, or could be, two separate characters. I think Galvatron is Galvatron. He's just doing his thing, walking around Hong Kong and China. But then this dragon could potentially be Megatron, and it's like a different version of Megatron or something. But I think they could be two different characters. The possibility or the potential of them being two different characters is getting higher and higher and higher to me. That's the way I feel. Okay. Sheldon Hughes asks, do you think we could ever see Jolt return in any future installments because he just disappears after Transformers Revenge of the Fallen? I don't think we'll ever see Jolt again. His car mode, the Chevy Jolt, was there promoted at the last minute. Was there in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen because Chevy wanted to promote this vehicle back in 2009. Okay, the Volt is no longer a hot vehicle. I don't even know if there's a new version of the Volt, but if there is, it probably doesn't look that much different from the original version of the Volt. So there's really no need to promote this vehicle. I think that they're going to put more emphasis on the existing vehicles that are out there, like, for example, the Corvette, the new Corvette, all right? And finally, Aditya Sura asks, hey, Alex, do you believe will The Last Night be as bad as Age of Extinction? No, I don't think it's going to be as bad as Age of Extinction. Age of Extinction had a lot of problems, okay? But no film, not one of these films in this franchise is without problems. I don't think that it's going to have as many problems, but it will have quite a few problems when compared to Age of Extinction. The reason why I think it's going to be a lot better is mainly because they got rid of Aaron Kruger, which I think which played a huge factor into the low level quality of the storytelling in Age of Extinction. But as for what we have right here in Transformers Last Night, we have three great writers. Ken Nolan, who wrote Black Hawk Down, one of my favorite films of all time, and also Iron Man. The duo who wrote Iron Man, which is Art Markham and Matt Holloway. And not only that, this writers' room that have been put together by Akiva Goldsman for 2 whole months straight. They've had ideas inspired from all different types of writers, okay, from all different backgrounds. So they've been inspiring each other, and then at the end of it all, they wanted to come up with a great story. And not only that, they have been studying Transformers for 2 months. Unlike Michael Bay, who only was put through a crash course in Transformers school, okay, with no background other than that. But these guys have actually studied Transformers lore, and now they're putting elements into it, as you can see right here. So I think it's going to be better than Transformers Age of Extinction. And we're going to end off with Twitter shoutouts, okay? Twitter shoutouts go to Mike Snow, Alexandros Mathau, Toby Ganley, Cooper Powell, Adrian Salamone, Tristan Bellamy, Patrick Lane, Ben, and also Esteban Benucci. Thanks a lot, guys, for all your support at the Ragin Nation. Really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. I hope to see Dinobots. I hope to see Predacons. It looks like we're getting both of them. But that's all just, speculation. But all these things are pointing towards the possibility that we're going to see them in the next film, Transformers Last Night. So hopefully that happens, and I can't wait to see Optimus fighting a 3-headed dragon. It could be Predaking, or it could be Megatron in his beast mode. Anyways, like I said, that's all I gotta say in this video. And if you want to tweet me more questions, just make sure you ask me on Twitter and also hashtag the road to TF5. That way it makes it easy for me to look for them. And also, if you want a shout out, all you gotta do is share and retweet this video on Twitter. And of course, follow me on Twitter. So there you have it. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace. Drift needed a change for logistical reasons, and they're probably going to write a story for that. And most likely